A very warm morning to my dear children. Today we are going to start with a new chapter in EPS 1, that is chapter number 19, Constituents of Food. We all know that whenever we are hungry, we like to have food. But do we consume a proper, nourished and balanced diet whenever we are consuming the food? So let's see that how we can maintain our diet and keep ourselves fit and healthy by learning some constituents that have been required by our body for its growth and development. So let's continue with the chapter and see which all points we are going to cover in this part of the video. In this part of the video, we are going to cover the major point is carbohydrates that have been required by the body. Now in the carbohydrates, three major types are there that have been required by the body. That is starch, sugars and fibers. They should be consumed in a proper amount and is be required by the body. There are a few questions that we need to answer. Now in this slide, I have answered my personal response. Now it is your choice and it is your thinking that what you reply. So when you're watching the video, you can pause the video for the moment and think answer for the questions that are given in your textbook on page number 96. Can you recall? Now what is meant by a diet as per you? As per me, diet is a thing that has been required by the body and it consists of different constituents in a proper amount. It should be taken in a proper amount by a body. So, it is called as a balanced diet and it must contain carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals in the correct proportion. The next question is, for what purposes do we need food? We need food to live. First of all, we cannot live empty stomach and we cannot do any kind of activities through empty stomach. It is a very important basic need for every living world. So, and it requires for the growth and the development and gives energy to do different kinds of activity throughout the day. The next question is, what are the different types of taste that foodstuffs have? So it may be sweet, it may be salty, it may be oily, fibrous, sour, depending. The next question is, how do we experience these tastes? You know that your tongue is having a taste, that whether it is sweet, whether it is salty or whether it is sour. So we experience these tastes with the help of our taste buds and that is situated in our mouth. That is, you taste with this taste bud and it comes to your taste bud that whether the food is tastier or not. And so your immediate response is, that means you, whenever your favorite food is there, you feel that yes, it is tastier, and whenever you are forced to have some diet that you don't like, then you feel that it is not tastier. So remember that you need to answer the questions orally by yourself, thinking and answering the questions when you're watching the video. We know that our body requires a proper amount of balanced diet, a nourished diet. So this diet should contain all the constituents, and these constituents you have studied in your previous classes. So which all things are there in the constituents of food? That means a food should have fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals and carbohydrates. Now you can see a food pyramid in this. So this food pyramid tells us that particular constituent should be consumed in what amount. That means the major amount should be of carbohydrate. Then the pyramid is going, the triangle is going upward. We know that pointed is there. The next one is vitamins and minerals, little less. Then the proteins and the fats should be very less because it increases your obesity. So it's very important, whatever constituents of food are there, that should be consumed in the right amount, in the right proportion. With the first one in the carbohydrates is starch. So we are going to see first what is starch and how it reacts. So starch turns blackish blue when it comes in contact with iodine. Iodine is a chemical that is present, and this iodine, when it mixes with the starchy food, it turns the food into blackish blue. So here is one example of potato. So when you cut the potato and put iodine drops on the potato will turn into blackish blue. In the same way, Sago, that is your sabudana, and sweet potato also contain starch. Cereals like jawar, bajra, wheat, rice contain a lot of starch. That is why sometimes when your mother cooks rice, she removes the excess amount of water and then only she keeps it for boiling, she keeps it for cooking. So whatever the extra amount of starch is there, that has been removed from the food. We obtain flour from these grains. And which are the grains? Jawar, bajra, rice, and wheat. And these grains become our staple diet. And we get energy from these starchy food. That means whatever activity we are doing throughout the day, these starchy foods play an important part in these activities. So our body utilizes this energy for doing different kinds of work. So this energy also helps us to keep our body suitably warm. So if you might have heard that bajra is a kind of cereal, and this is mostly consumed in the winter season because of the cool weather condition, what it helps to keep the body warm. And jawar is mostly consumed in the summer season. So what these becomes a staple diet. Here is one more question, that is use your brain power. That means you need to use your brain to think for this answer. Now, why do we feel hungrier in winter than we do in summer? That means why we are hungry more in winter season rather than in summer? Because we use more energy in the winter season than we do in the summer season. That is why we feel more hungry in the winter season, and in the summer season, as we have excessive amount of sweat, so we feel like drinking water to contain to have maintained that sweat in the body. So we drink more water in the summer season and we drink less water in the winter season, whereas we consume more food in the winter season and less food in the summer season. Next set of questions are, can you tell? That is on page number 96 in your textbook. Now, what substances do we use to give our food a sweet taste? We know that Indian culture is having the habit that after having their diet, they form the habit of having a dessert or some sweet thing so that it helps for the digestion process. Digestion process become easier when you consume a sweet after the food. So we use either sugar, jaggery or honey to make the food sweet. Of the foods that we eat raw, which ones are sweet? Raw means you're going to consume directly without cooking it. So beetroot is sweet in taste. Most of the ripe fruits like mangoes, bananas, chickus and even milk is also sweet in taste. If you consume milk without sugar, you will come to know that the taste of milk is sweet. Next part in the carbohydrate is sugars. Now, foodstuffs that taste sweet contain different kinds of sugars. That means the foodstuffs that you consume may not have every time sugar only. It can contain jaggery, it can contain sugarcane, it can contain sucrose also. So, for example, we can obtain jaggery from and table sugar from sugarcane because it contains a sugar called sucrose. If you might have heard or if you might have seen an ad on television advertisement about sugar free, that they are showing that the ones who are diabetic patient, they can consume this sugars. That means that they are sweet in taste but they don't have that much calories which can affect the diabetic patients. So ripe fruits like mangoes, bananas, chickus as also honey and milk are sweet in taste and they are having different kinds of sugar in it. So they too give us a lot of energy throughout the day. Just remember one thing, when you sleep at night and when you consume your food, that is your dinner time is maybe at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So when you get up in the morning, that means your body may not feel hungrier immediately. Why? Because your body is having energy that has been stored with the food that you have consumed. That means the food that has been stored in your body is giving you energy to have energy with the food that is being consumed. Here is one activity on page number 97 of your textbook. Try this. For this you require certain materials. A fine sieve. You might have seen at home, your mummy must be using in kitchen. So fine sieve for the flour purpose and some whole wheat flour. Now what you have to do is you have to sift the flour. You might have seen also at home when your mommy is preparing dough, she does that. So she do that type of sifting. So what do you see when you do this type of sifting? Most of the flour falls through the sieve, but some larger particles are left on the sieve. So sometimes what it has been suggested that we should not sift the flour. Why? Because whatever bran, that is whatever the larger particles are there in the flour, that gets wasted and that has not been getting to our body. So this activity you can try with the help of your mother. Okay, it's not compulsory, but you can have a try and you'll get an idea that how this bran is present in the flour. We have seen starch, we have seen sugars. Moving on to the third part in the carbohydrate is fiber. So when grain like jawar, wheat, bajra is ground into flour, the particles in the flour are not all alike. We have seen with the activity that we have done, we have discussed in the previous slide. So we come to know that there are certain smaller particles and there are certain larger particles. The fine flour will flow down with the help of sieve, whereas the larger particles will remain on the sieve. So when the flour is sifted, we find the larger particles left behind on the sieve, and these particles are fine pieces of skin or bran of the grain. That means if you consume this skin or bran of the grain, it is not going to affect your health. So it has been suggested by doctors that not to sieve the or not to sift the flour. Bran is a fibrous substance. That is, we should consume this in our diet. It is not going to harm our health. So, in the process of digestion, fiber has a special function. If you might have heard about an advertisement on television, that is, they are showing Kellogg's all bran, all cereals, pulses, that is, these have been prepared with the help of Kellogg's and you should consume in milk. So, what it means, so they are prepared with the bran of these cereals. Fibrous substances help the food to move forward in the alimentary canal at the right speed. That means it helps for the moving of the food in the alimentary canal moving on to the stomach. So the undigested food that is not required by the body moves on to the large intestine. Remember, the size of small intestine is large and the large intestine is small in size. That means the food that is not been required by the body is moving to the large intestine. So the undigested food that is not required is not used to the body. So fiber helps to form the stool in the body, and the unwanted food of the body is being passed out with the help of the stool. So fiber is also called as roughage. That means the food that is not being required by the body is being removed out by the body, that is called as excretion. That means the food that is not required is removed out of the body in the form of urine or stool. Fruits and vegetables, especially their skins. That means sometimes it is suggested to you that have the fruits with the skin. Some are having the habit to remove the skin of apples and consume that. So that should not be done. Why? Because these are having rich source of fiber. Whole grains and pulses are also sources of fiber in the food. So if a food does not contain enough amount of fiber, then it can lead to constipation. Constipation means that means you are finding difficulty to pass the stool. So fiber helps for the digestion of the food in the body. Up to now, we have learned about three types of substances that is present in our food: the starch, sugar, and fiber. So these substances are together called as carbohydrates, and the most important use of carbohydrate is to provide energy to the body to do different types of work throughout the day. So this carbohydrate should be consumed in a proper amount, and it is required by the body in a larger amount as compared to the other constituents of the food. One more question is there in your textbook on page number 97, that is use your brain power. So the question is, threads get stuck between the teeth when we eat certain types of mangoes. Which kind of carbohydrate are they? So when we eat mangoes, so thread like structure is there in that, or sometimes if you see on the seeds also it is there. So which type of carbohydrate it is? So these threads are the kind of fibrous carbohydrates, or even they are called as fiber. My dear children, in this part of the video, we have seen a major constituent of food that is being required by the body is carbohydrate, and it constitutes of starch, sugars and fibers. So, even we have seen an activity and the questions that are given on page number 96 and 97 in your textbook. Thank you for watching the video. In the next video, we will continue with the next part of the chapter. Till then, take care. Bye bye.